Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be making some bismuth crystals as seen here. So, bismuth crystals are exactly what they sound like. They're crystals of bismuth metal. First of all, in the last video I talked about my new setup, and I had two big problems. The audio was only coming out of the left side, and I accidentally rendered it down to 360. So, I think I've taken care of all those problems in this video. Anyway, let's start making bismuth crystals. Okay, let's get started. So what you'll need is a torch. You can use a propane torch. I'm going to be using a map torch. It's a little overkill. You'll need a crucible. This is a fused silica crucible. And you'll need another metal container that can withstand some heat. Bismuth metal. And some tools for working with it. So, how you make bismuth crystals? Well, bismuth, when it solidifies, like anything, crystallizes out. And if you can get bismuth to melt, and then you can see where it's starting to crystallize, if you pour out the remaining liquid in the middle, you can get these dramatic crystals that are formed along the edges. So that's what we're going to do. So first step is going to be to melt the bismuth into the crucible. My trigger start on my map torch broke, so I'm going to be using this torch to light that. Okay, I like to get the crucible a little hot before I add the bismuth, because that will slow down the crystallization of the bismuth and give me some time to kind of work with it. Okay. So now I'll be melting the bismuth metal into the crucible. Later on I'll go ahead and shoot what's going on inside this crucible so you can see, get a better idea. Alright, so go ahead and torch your bismuth until all of it melts in there. Okay, now that I just melted all my bismuth, I'm going to pull off some slag from the top. Slag is just a mixture of metal oxides that are a result of melting the metal, so it'll stick to my scoop pretty easily. Alright, now what I'm doing is I'm carefully watching the bismuth and kind of shaking it gently, and when I see that the bismuth on the edge of the crucible isn't moving, it means it's solid, then I know that I'm ready to pour out my bismuth and pour the liquid into here. So, I think we're just about ready. You want to do this step rather quickly. Okay, now I'll just let that cool. Okay, now that the bismuth cooled, I was able to pull it out of the crucible, and I'll show you what I got. You can see it's not the best quality of bismuth crystals. I mean, you can definitely see the crystalline nature of it, but these aren't very big, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again. I found that you just kind of have to play with it and give it a few tries to get the best result. So I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to show what it looks like inside the crucible. Okay, I just melted the bismuth in the crucible, and hopefully from this angle you can get a better look at what it looks like in there. So here I'm pulling off the slag. Okay. Now to watch for it to crystallize. I've read that blowing on it is a good way to see how far the bismuth is crystallized, but if you just tap it gently, then you can see it shake, and that works well too. So you can see I'm tapping it, and it still all looks very molten. And now you can see when I tap it, it doesn't move as much on the edges, so that means it's about time to pour it. Alright, now I've just poured the bismuth metal into this other container. And here you can see what I'm left with in the crucible. Some pretty large crystals of bismuth. I'll wait for these to cool and then pull them out. Okay, I poured out the bismuth that was in the crucible, and you can see some of the crystals I got here. Doesn't look too great on camera, but you can see the classic stair-step structure that you often see in bismuth crystals. One thing you'll notice about the crystals that I've made is that they're all clear. They're completely white and shiny, and that's really weird. Normally bismuth crystals are gold to tan to red and blue colored from mixed oxide layers, and for some reason mine are, well, completely clear. I don't know what causes this. It might have something to do with the purity. My bismuth is 99.99% pure. I bought it from Roto Metals. I'll put a link in the description if you're wondering about that. Alright, thanks for watching. I will put some pictures up that I took of some bismuth crystals I made in the past that are really high quality, so you can check those out.